Spitting out facts and voicing controversial views is our hero's forte. Yes, we are definitely talking about the tech mogul Elon Musk, and he is never afraid to voice his opinions on anything under the sun. His confidence and sheer will to express his uncensored views are definitely worthy of praise, albeit not for those who he criticizes. This time Elon Musk, being a fan of the fantasy genre, voiced his concerns with the newly released and hyped series books The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. This is the future Odyssey, and we are here to bring you the latest happenings from the world of Elon Musk. His ideas, views, and creativity seem to know no bounds, but his careless words have often offended many. And this time the case isn't any different. In true Elon Musk fashion, the Tesla CEO did not hesitate in giving his views on the newly launched Tolkien series, titled The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. What he said was equal parts offensive and rude, and fans of the series got a shock after reading his tweets. Elon Musk voices his opinion on Rings of Power. On Monday, Musk tweeted upon watching the said series that J.R.R Tolkien, author of the Lord of the Rings series, would be turning in his grave over the adaptation of his legendary fantasy story. Elon Musk further criticized male representation in the story. He tweeted that almost every male character so far is a coward, a jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. For the information of our audience, and those unaware of the Lord of the Rings world, Galadriel is a female warrior elf. She is also the lead character of the Amazon fantasy series, The Rings of Power. Twitter users and Musk critics almost instantly replied in defense of the series' visualization and depiction of characters based on Tolkien's fantasy books, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. A Twitter user did not hesitate in calling Musk out on his unfair criticism. They said in their tweet, "I usually try to give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to reacting to art, but if you don't like hashtag The Rings of Power because it's too woke, racism and sexism are really the only plausible explanations," they stated. But Musk is not the one to stay quiet. He rubbished their titles of him being racist and sexist, and retorted cleverly, "Those who claim any criticism of Rings of Power means you're racist are outing themselves as closet racists." Color and criticism. Some other fans of the Tolkien's fantasy books also criticized the portrayal of some characters, saying that casting non-white actors to depict the characters from the Tolkien world isn't being true to the author's story. But one Hollywood Reporter contributor, Richard Newby, said that it is often a misguided view that Tolkien didn't include characters of color in his world. Not only is this untrue, as Harfoots are described as having browner skin, but Tolkien didn't often make a point to describe skin color. More about the series. The Rings of Power is a prequel series to the popular The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. It is currently being streamed on Amazon. More on that later. It has become Amazon Prime's most watched premiere ever, with more than 25 million views and counting. And despite some criticism from Elon Musk, the series seems to be off to a great start for fans of the fantasy genre. The story runs deeper. The tweet of Tolkien turning in his grave is not a mere joke with no consequences. Coming from one of the richest and most powerful men on earth at the moment, criticism of the highly anticipated Rings of Power can have much deeper meanings, consequences, and after effects. Without reading into it too much and fanning the flames of controversy, please hear us out when we say that Musk's criticism has more to do with his long-standing rivalry with Jeff Bezos and less with how the series' portrayal is not up to the mark when compared with the original fantasy books by Tolkien. With a single tweet, Elon Musk managed to reignite his rivalry with Amazon founder and executive chairman Jeff Bezos. Musk loves dissing Bezos every little chance he gets, and this was another of his attempts to bring down Bezos' brand Amazon Prime, an OTT platform where the fantasy series is currently premiering. Musk is also a fan of the fantasy genre, and his outright criticism of one of the most highly anticipated series this year seems a little unfair. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' rivalry is not limited to the portrayal of a few fantasy characters. It runs deeper, across space, if we dare say so. Both are seen competing for the title of the richest man on Earth and run rival space exploration ventures, SpaceX and Blue Origin. The newly released series Rings of Power is the most expensive series ever made, and Elon Musk's single tweet has, it seems, given others the courage to voice their opinion on one of the biggest series in history unapologetically, as if starting a chain of tweets criticizing the hyped show. The fight back. Neil Gaiman, a popular fantasy author of The Sandman, could not stay quiet and have a renowned fantasy work criticized so brutally over Twitter. When a Twitter user asked him for his thoughts on Musk's tweets criticizing the Amazon Prime show, the best-selling Sandman author retorted, "Elon Musk doesn't come to me for advice on how to fail to buy Twitter, and I don't go to him for film, TV, or literature criticism." This was certainly a clever comeback, mocking Musk for his ongoing feud with Twitter and the many cases and legal complications he is facing when he backed out of the $44 billion Twitter buyout deal. The Sandman author and creator also clarified that he wasn't involved in the production of the Lord of the Rings prequel, Rings of Power, but enjoyed the first 2 episodes greatly. He further tweeted that, "Not really sure what to do about all of the Elon Musk people who now think I had something to do with Lord of the Rings." Gaiman tweeted this in reply to someone who mistakenly assumed that he was the mastermind behind the J.R.R Tolkien's book for television. In another tweet, Gaiman said to the many Twitter users confusing him as an author for the TV adaptation of the Lord of the Rings prequel, Rings of Power, "Do I tell them that no, I was asked for my opinion and answered, or warn them that if they think that's bad, it's a good thing they haven't watched Sandman?" A case of male misrepresentation. Elon Musk apparently has an even bigger problem with the newly released series than what could be the cause of its author turning in his grave. He thinks that Amazon has catered to the woke crowd by making all male characters what he tweeted as a coward, a jerk, or both. And people are livid. Some went as far as to say that Elon Musk is a racist and a sexist for not being able to digest strong female characters that are both sent. It does seem like the show has changed quite a few things from the book to make it appear more female-centric. Take the character Galadriel, for instance, who Musk described in his tweet as a powerful elf, is brave, smart, and nice. Since Tolkien never dedicated a book to the Second Age, McKay and J.D. Payne, the showrunners for Rings of Power, took the creative liberties to update the characters a bit to fill out the story. And the most noticeable thing they changed about them are the womenfolk. The Amazon series centers entirely on a young Galadriel. Other dwarf women are also shown to have power and liberty, like Nori Brandyfoot and Disa. These are certainly different from the original story, and were not created by the legendary fantasy author J.R.R Tolkien himself. The audience's final word. Audiences seem to agree with the ruthless Elon Musk and his unhinged views on the Tolkien world-based prequel, Rings of Power. Although the premiere was one of the most watched in history, and views have been rising ever since its release on Musk's rival Bezos platform Amazon Prime, audiences have given low ratings to the first 2 episodes. It is a fact that the first episode of the Rings of Power series drew 25 million views across the world on its first day. Critics seem to love the show, with average ratings on Rotten Tomatoes of 84%, but viewer ratings speak a different language altogether. Audiences have given a score of 39% on Rotten Tomatoes to the newly launched prequel, and on Metacritic things are bleaker, with a user score of 2.5 on 10. Perhaps there is some truth to Musk's critical tweets after all.